they bring MJF out at the start and they still react to him, but it's not like the old days. And granted, they're in a smaller building than they used to be in, but it just he's introduced as the CMLL world champion because now they feel they have to work with CMLL because AAA is with WWE, and that may be fine to work with them, but the guy that wants the world title is already coming out with a world championship belt. But he's going for another world. Everybody has a belt. It's been way past meaningless.
And I'd rather watch him in the main events at Arena Mexico than against Adam Page. That's where you get real heat. That's where it's like a real fun show.
That's another part of the problem is here comes Page. And they're stuck with him as champion after the last unpalatable champion. And they're going to have a face-off in the ring with nobody in the ring, nobody separating them because they can't fight or it's a 6-figure fine. How about having a $100,000 battle royal in Moline, Vern? People will love it. So, and I'm not going to tell you the promo back and forth. And MJF, again, great delivery and he's very well spoken. But at this point, it's the same thing. And he's having to, he's the devil and he's goading Page and it's just, there's no material here. There's no energy. There's no interest. MJF has the talent. They've devalued him. He's alone in these promos because he got nobody to work with. He's got nobody to produce these whole things or help with any of this booking. And he told Page off forever. And then Page responded with one of his even more boring soliloquies where he's got the phony inflections and the over pronunciations.
Let me tell you something. There's a fucking AEW fan base right now that say that he's like the best promo in wrestling, and I don't see it at all.
Christ.
He's so fake, you don't believe him. And then his arguments are all ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot of ridiculous people out there. Maybe they like the ridiculous arguments. But it's just, again, the stuff doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. It's not. Page did the whole deal of goading MJF into executing his contract instead of just giving him a match. And finally, the way he goads him into it is he says, you need to do that to prove to yourself that you're more than a gutless coward.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And because of MJF's insecurity, he flips out. The devil gets pissed off. He screams something that got bleeped as he accepted it, so we didn't hear him accept it. And then he realizes that he's fucked up and he has the look on his face like, oh my God, what have I done? This is the dumbest devil in the history of the Bible. The devil never outsmarts anybody. The devil always gets played here. The devil always gets goaded into doing the shit that he doesn't want to do. How is MJF the devil?
Unless he wins the belt. Unless they somehow give him the belt here, which I don't think they're going to do.
But see, no, because that would salvage something out of this, but it's not the way to build the match to have the devil outsmarted and then him win. It's to see you don't want to pay to see the fucking devil win something. You want to pay to see the good guy overcome the devil, which is what we were supposed to be seeing with Page and goddamn Moxley.
He challenged the devil to overcome his feelings.
But because the devil is insecure. That's the thing, is that MJF, going back a long time, should be the one to smooth talk and outsmart and convince people until they find out otherwise, that he was the devil in disguise. Instead of coming out and saying, I'm the devil, and running everybody down to their lowest point and then having them make him flip out and get mad. I don't understand the logic. But nevertheless, so the devil got outsmarted again, and he said he was going to sign the contract for the match. And this was 15 minutes that seemed like 30. Brian, to be quite honest with you, I don't know. You tell me.
I find Adam Page unbearable on the mic. And again, there's a big groundswell of support behind his promos. People who think his promos are good, and there's no one who has the emotion that he has. In front of a small room, yeah, he does a good job of getting people to quiet down and listen and yell when he starts yelling. But if you listen to his messaging, it's not a mainstream babyface message. It's a fucking weak placeholder message. It just everything with Adam Page from day one has been booked so.
I just call it rotten material.
So stupid, but now that he's the champion, I think it's unbearable.
Well, and here's another thing. I always used to tell the guys in OVW, they'd do an interview. I'd say, use some contractions. Is what? When you speak like this and enunciate every word correctly because you are a coward, then you're giving a fucking pre-recorded speech. When you get into somebody's ass and you're fucking reading them out verbally, you're going to say can't instead of cannot, or don't instead of do not, or you're going to use some contractions, and your verbiage, your English is not going to be perfect because your emotion is carrying you away. But he's rehearsed this in his head, and he thinks he's John Ford.
So how does it help
when movie buffs?
How does it help MJF if he loses the match?
I don't know. I don't know how they would know either, but I don't think they're worried about helping MJF anymore. They haven't given him any help so far.
Yeah, like it can't be like the Hurt Syndicate come out and cost him the match. They're the baby faces. The baby faces can't come out and do that. And if it's that it was all a swerve and that him and the Hurt Syndicate didn't break up, I think fans are getting a little sick of swerves again. So who knows?
I don't think this is a swerve, because again, they would have done it better if they'd planned to do it all along, the separation of MJF and the Hurts after they just got him in it. If that had been the plan, they would have done it better. And everybody's pretty much acquiesced that it was supposed to go longer, but it got cut short. And people are saying, well, it's because of a problem with one person in the group. But point being, unless MJF beats him, it's going to be kind of the shits all the way around. And if he does beat him, I don't see how this promoted the goddamn thing. And truthfully, they did miss the opportunity to, if they wanted to put the belt on MJF, the best way they could have put the belt on the Devil is if the Devil had goaded Page into giving him a title shot, and he still had his contract, and Page gives him the shot and fucking beats him, and then fucking MJF knocks him over the head with a ball-peen hammer and cashes in his contract and wins it. Then you might have had something.